Hi, I'm Yannick Hanfman.
I'm Ilya Marchenko.
I'm Dennis Kudla.
This is Sebastian Olfner.
It's Marc-Andrea Whistler.
I am Francisco Cerundolo.
And you're listening to the GTL podcast. Hopefully you enjoy it.
Hopefully. Hey, welcome back, tennis fans. It's the end of the year and it can mean only one thing here on GTL. We're going to be reacting to last year's predictions, and there were some shocking ones, especially on JG's side on the men's, and that's what we're going to be going through on this video. Isn't that right, JG?
Yes, for those who don't know, we did a video at the end of last year giving our predictions for 2023. They consisted of the top 10 for the men and the women, and also the 4 Grand Slam champions for the men and the women's side. And this video you're watching right here will just be the men's. We'll be doing the women's one tomorrow. And the women's one is my saving grace a little bit. This one, I'm in the hot seat, ready to take a lot of stick, especially from the Djokovic fans, because, of course, as you all know, I famously said Novak Djokovic won't win any Grand Slams in 2023. And, I mean, he almost won all 4 and has beaten him at Wimbledon. So, yeah, I'm waiting for it. I'm here. I could have easily missed this episode, but I do have a few little tricks up my sleeve. I had the opportunity to create the PowerPoint, and I'm going to be holding Ben account for some of the things he said as well, because there's some real stinkers in there.
Yes, I'm sure that there is. More on the women's side for me, but I'm sure everybody at home, they've been waiting for this day. They've been building up to this day for the whole year, really. Gary, especially, if you're sitting at home, he's probably poured himself a nice glass of red like me. I mean, this is the moment for it, really. We just sit there, just a little like warm glow, a Djokovic glow, we'll call this one. And if you are a Djokovic fan, then please write in the comments section anything you like in this one. You can celebrate, you can give JG a bit of stick, but that's what this is all about. We're going to go through and look at some of these good and bad predictions.
Do you remember any of them before we bring up the slides? Because obviously I've had the privilege of looking for the last 3 hours and going through everything.
I did look back this morning. Okay. I mean, it's not been the busiest day. I did have a little look through, let's say.
And have you had any thoughts about your 2024 ones yet?
No, I haven't. I haven't even put that in my head yet. I want to keep that fresh.
After this episode, I'm sure I'm going to start looking onto 2024, because there's a few mistakes I made last year, which I can assure you I will never, ever do again. So let's get started. If you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. And this is, how did we do? Reacting to GTL 2023 predictions. You can see me crying. You can see Ben's clearly made this. He's made me look very ugly. Very hairy, actually, in that photo. I don't understand why I've got so many eyebrows and facial hair.
Just your hair, to be honest, isn't it? But I think I put a filter on us. I think we put a filter. It's the lighting. Yeah. Always blame the lighting. If you are just listening on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts, then the picture is of JG. I've added some tears to his cheeks as well, and I'm laughing in the background of this. And this is the front page of the PowerPoint. JG has spent days preparing.
Only the last few hours. But I don't know why you're laughing so much, because you shouldn't be. Let's get started.
Oh no, here we go.
So, ATP top 10 rankings. So, this is the rankings we had, and you can see the actual rankings to the left-hand side.
Oh no.
So, let's have a look. Actual rankings 2023. Djokovic 1, Alcaraz 2, Medvedev 3, Sinner 4, Rublev 5, Tsitsipas 6, Zverev 7, Rune 8, Hurkacz 9, and Taylor Fritz 10th.
Yeah, and I can see there not many greens across both of our sides there, which is a bit sad, to be honest. I thought we'd have maybe 1 or 2 more, but Yeah, if I'd have just gone for Djokovic and been a bit more sensible, I'd have had another green on my side.
Right. First thing I want to pick with you, Ben, first bone, is
Which
this. You're a big Djokovic fan.
Yeah.
Why didn't you believe in him more? Why did you have him only second? That's the first question I've got for you. Because you're giving all this big persona. You've got a whole group of a following on GTL. They're all attacking me in the comments.
Yep.
Why didn't you believe more in Novak Djokovic? You had him number 2. Are you an Alcaraz fan deep down? You had him number 1?
Well, let's remember last year he finished the year at world number 1 and he was looking pretty good. And we thought he was going to start the year and just hit the ground running. He didn't play the Australian Open, the first slam of the year. Remember that. That could play a big factor. Yeah, play a big factor into this actual decision that I was making. Maybe he would have got more points there. We saw how it was actually quite close coming into the end of the year, really, for world number 1, apart from the fact that Djokovic, I mean, that Paris Masters, he was fantastic in. I'm not too mad with that. I think it was fair. I didn't see Djokovic winning 3 slams. I said 2, and I think that was the 1-2. They're the other way around. Yours, well, Zverev, that's quite an interesting one at number 2 there. Why don't we speak about that one?
Well, you get one each. Let's do 1-1. So I've given my blow first. What's your one?
Well, Sasha Zverev, I mean, coming back from a very bad injury, and you had him going all the way to number 2 in the rankings, overtaking Novak Djokovic there down in 4th. Obviously not winning any slams for you, so that's probably why he's dropped so far down. Did he even make the finals of the slams for you? We'll never know.
Let me answer the first bit you say. So Zverev, the reason I thought that is because following the Roland Garros match where he lost to Rafael Nadal, he outplayed Rafa in large spells of that, played amazing. And I feel Zverev was at such a good level before the injury. I was expecting him to take some time to adjust and come back and do really well sort of the back end of the year. US Open, Paris, ATP finals. It wasn't to be. It's not the craziest thing in the world. He did finish 7th. I went 2nd. 5. Let's split the difference. So my question to you, I'm going to go straight for the jugular, and that is Nick Kyrgios. You've got him inside your top 10.
Yeah.
He didn't win a single match. He is actually unranked without a single ATP point. He's not in the rankings. I thought I would be generous and give you 1,000 plus just for him. I think it is a little bit more, but I felt sorry for you. And if you look at the totals, 1,685. I mean, that is absolutely shocking. So, this one's for you, Ben. So, as you can see, I've got a big Kyrgios here, just to remind you of your bad selection. And I want to just spend some time with the crowd I've got, just have a good little laugh.
Well, I feel like... Oh, God, they're back again.
Nick Kyrgios, he got him in the top 10. He's unranked.
Where do they go? Well, I feel that you're being very... I feel that this is...
I might keep this on for the rest of the episode.
A sore subject, maybe, because you're just laughing at somebody who had such a good year and then suffered a very bad knee injury and was unable... They played one match in the whole of the year. So this, for me, a person who played one match who was actually very, very good in slams the year before, made it to beat Medvedev at the US Open, got to the final of Wimbledon. Now, let me finish. He had a knee injury that has taken him out of the Australian Open at the start of the year. A knee injury, the same one that took him out of the US Open as well. He's been plagued by injury. He hasn't played a match. I'm not so mad at it because... Who knows? I might put him back in the top 10 again this year if he's playing well. So, I'm not mad at it. I think...
Right, so I've heard enough. Listen,
I think the more laughable... That's as laughable as Rafael Nadal.
It's one go each.
Wow.
This is my turn. So, you might even put him in this year. So, for an ATP ranking, the top 10... That is consistent tennis players. When has Nick Kyrgios ever been consistent? In what world was he ever going to play more than Wimbledon and potentially the Australian Open, US Open at a push? He's only going to play a few select tournaments, maybe a bit of
He only needs to
Cincinnati.
play the slams. If he does well at all of them.
He'll play a few matches here and there, and you thought he was going to be inside the top 10. You've just come on here and say, you reckon he might do it again?
Well, it's
Absolutely
possible.
embarrassing. And that's
I
why I
don't
put
think
it as
so.
the background. I think that is the worst prediction of this entire video
I don't
so
think
far.
so.
And you can see a plus 1,000.
I think
we've never ever seen a plus 1,000 ever before. This is the first in GTL history.
There should be, if there's a player's injured for the whole year, which I'm sure you're going to bolster your one for Rafael Nadal in a second.
What do you mean? You had the same. You had him
Yeah,
at
no,
8.
exactly. That's what I mean. I'm saying if they're injured for the whole year, then this type of thing should be like a null void.
He's
That's
not
what
injured
it-
the whole year. He
it's-
played in June and
Yeah,
lost.
played one match.
He
Yeah,
lost.
he was injured.
He lost.
Well, he lost like Rafael Nadal against
Anyway.
Mackenzie McDonald at the Australian Open.
Anyway,
But-
it's really bad, Ben. So
Mate,
it's
it's
your
not
go
that
now.
bad. I'm actually not that disappointed by it because I don't think we've got to see. If it was somebody who played the whole year and was really bad, then I'd feel bad. But I feel that he still has the potential. You're saying what consistency did he have? He got to the final of Wimbledon. He beat Medvedev at the US Open. He was looking great. You were even the
What year are you
person
talking about?
picking him up.
2022?
Mate, yeah, he was looking
Oh,
great.
sorry. I thought this was 2023 predictions. My bad.
It was. But bear in mind when we
so
made
you're
these
talking about
predictions.
another year. Okay, sorry.
When did you think we made these predictions?
Okay, Ben. Listen, it's a stinker. Real stinker. What's your one on me?
Well, it's quite clearly Rafael Nadal. It's terrible, isn't it? I mean, Rafael Nadal at 6th, he should have been outside, shouldn't he? I mean,
Well, you had him 8th.
well, I should have put him outside the top 10.
Yeah, we both should have.
Yeah, shoulda, woulda, coulda.
We didn't realise. I didn't realise he was going to get injured, so that's why I put Nadal there.
But Felix is a really good one. We both got him. Let's both have a chat about Felix because that was a really, really good pick by both of us.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real stinker. I was expecting a lot more from him, and shocked at how abysmal he was. All
Recency
year.
bias from us both, was it?
Definitely, I'm really surprised at how bad he was.
Yeah.
But all in all, your predictions aren't too bad. I think
2 greens.
you got 2 greens in there. I've only got the 1 green in Medvedev. We both thought Medvedev would finish 3rd, which is a good one.
Yeah.
Rude. I'm only out by 4. It's not the end of the world. The Sinner
Excuse me.
one's not
Excuse me.
too
Out
bad.
by no, this one out by 4, but wrong because he didn't finish in the top 10.
Yeah, well, there we go. So it's out by 4. It's what it is.
Could we just take a second as well? Like, because just outside the top 10 is like it isn't
you're
in the
checking
top
some
10.
of these? Are you checking some of these?
No, it isn't in the top 10. Is that not right?
No, so it was wrong.
Yeah.
It's a wrong one. Just
So?
like your Kyrgios, the unranked Kyrgios.
So I just want to make something clear from last year's predictions. You said to me, and let's just bring it up, on Ben not putting Casper Ruud in the top 10. I think it is crazy you've not put him in the top 10. Terrible prediction. I'm embarrassed you're my co-host on Game to Love. That's what you said last year. And where did he finish up?
This isn't fair because you've got the creative advantage on me. All I've
Where
got is a
did
few
he
crowd
finish?
laughing.
Well, you've got a crowd. I've got your words that you can read here, which I've taken from the podcast that we did in the predictions
you
last
finished
year.
11th, man. Come
It doesn't
on.
matter.
Yeah,
I was
okay. I
crazy.
put my hands up. My bad.
There you
My
go.
bad.
It's there
What
in
do you want me to
writing.
say? I'll say my bad.
There may be more coming up throughout this show, just so you know.
Yeah. Are you going to say my bad about Kyrgios or not?
Well, no, I'm not. He was
No, you're
injured.
not. You're defiant in the fact that he played 1 match and lost it, and you thought that
He was
Nick
injured.
Kyrgios is someone who can
He had to have
ever
knee
get...
surgery.
How many times has he been inside the top 10 in his career?
Once, probably.
0. Never. He's never been inside the top 10. He never will be inside the top 10. He doesn't play enough. He's not consistent enough. It's an absolutely embarrassing selection. You can clip this. You can make a meme. You can make a video, a short, whatever you want from it. It is absolutely ludicrous that you put him inside your top 10, and you should be highly embarrassed.
He's so making the top 10 next year now, and I'm going to put that
Listen,
same thing up again.
Look at the total, 715. Not my proudest. Rafael Nadal really skewed the data.
Yeah, Ruined it.
But if we're looking at yours, it's an absolute stinker. Nick Kyrgios, and I feel that I won the men's predictions based off rankings because the numbers don't lie. But let us know in the comment section, do you think I deserve it or do you think Ben deserves it? I think that Kyrgios one is an absolute abysmal selection.
Well, based upon what he did the year before, I thought it was not too bad, to be honest. I thought it was fair play because he actually showed the first time in his career he was serious about playing even all the slams. He was going to play the French. He was going to do everything. He just got struck by a possible career-ending injury, really. We don't know if he's even going to be coming back for the Australian Open next year. So we'll wait and see on it.
Right. So, men's Grand Slam predictions, and this is where I need to maybe take it down a notch. There's not really much I've got on this one.
What?
So I don't know really what angle I'm going to take. So let's get into it. And the first Grand Slam of the year is the Australian Open. I even trolled myself here a little bit. So you've got Djokovic there lifting the Australian Open. I went with Carlos Alcaraz. You went with Novak Djokovic. And I'm saying we would have never known if Carlos Alcaraz would have won it because he didn't play.
It was one of those. It's the same situation
It's not one
as
you
the
can
Kyrgios.
really dig me out for, I don't think.
No,
The
it's the
Kyrgios
same
one's
as-
worse. Because
Well-
you basically banked on Kyrgios being a consistent tennis player. He's never been that in his whole
No,
career.
he just needed to be good in the slams. That's
It's
all
not
I'm
good
saying.
enough. He's been good in the slams before and not made the top 10. It's not enough then.
Yeah, but I mean making semis and finals. That's what I'm saying. If he could have done that in Australia and the US and Wimbledon,
Well, he didn't.
He would.
So you're
I
wrong.
know. Well, he had played one match.
It was a big foul, Ben.
Well,
Right.
this is a big foul as well. It was Carlos Alcaraz. Recency bias, probably again. World number one. Whoa, he's world
Recency
number
bias.
one.
He didn't play the ATP final.
No, he won. He was world number one. He finished the year world
I don't
number
think
one.
he was
He's going
world
to win
number one as the
everything.
Australian Open. I think Djokovic was.
Yeah, but because he finished
Maybe
the year at
Medvedev
world,
was or something weird.
because he finished the year at world number one, you were riding a high, and you went in for the first slam of the year. That's normal. But
Yeah.
anyway, great that Djokovic won it. Great, I got it right. Let me know in the comment section if you got it right as well. I'm sure most people probably did. I mean, it's
Well,
pretty
I'm looking
obvious.
forward to who you have this year.
I bet.
Next slam up, we have Roland Garros. And I went with Rafael Nadal to win this one. You went with Carlos Alcaraz. I mean, where do we begin? So, yet again, very unfortunate for myself. Rafael Nadal didn't even play. So, I've not even had a player play in any of these slams who I think's going to win it so far. I would say that's very bad luck. And, I mean, if Rafa would have played it, we know what his record's like. He's always got a good chance. But you went with Carlos Alcaraz. That's a bit of a stinker considering the way he went out. And let's remember and look back to how he went out. I believe it was it the semi-finals?
Semi-finals, yeah.
against
It was the
Novak
final.
Djokovic.
It was the final before the final.
And he went out in a whimper. He didn't really perform. He mentally couldn't handle Djokovic and his body stopped working. So I think you went for him a little bit too soon. He wasn't ready for Roland Garros and certainly Novak Djokovic in a Grand Slam semi-final because Djokovic took him apart.
Well, the winner of that match would have won Roland Garros. So it was one match away from winning Roland Garros, essentially. I don't think Casper Ruud would have beaten either of them in the final. That's my personal opinion. But he didn't finish inside the top 10, so probably wouldn't have. You know how it goes. Carlos Alcaraz, I think it was a good pick, but like you said, might have just been too much too soon. I didn't know Djokovic was going to be playing like this, but I probably had both of them ahead of Rafael Nadal, even if he had been playing. I don't know.
Well, we don't see that on the screen. Only Carlos Alcaraz.
Well,
So both wrong.
So I've been to I've got a winner and a semi-finalist. You've got two that didn't even play so
But, I
far,
mean,
so this is good.
Yeah, so it's just void, isn't it?
Well,
If you put a bet on them, I would have got my money back. You'd have lost your money.
same. Don't think so.
No, you would.
Why?
You'd have made money on the Djokovic one, and your bet on Carlos Alcaraz would have lost with the bookmakers. Mine would have been voided. I'd have got my money back. So I'd have made more money on Roland Garros if I bet on it than you would have with these predictions. Let's go on to the next Grand Slam.
Okay, at least we're doing it like that. That's good.
We're going to
Is that the new
Sky Bet rules.
stipulation?
So this is this is one I
this
might have
is
to lose.
brilliant. I love this. This is if we didn't have recency bias on your
My gifts aren't
predictions.
working.
You put him at number. I don't think they work on PowerPoint.
They know that there's a new feature for gifts, but unfortunately with the StreamYard integration, I can't see any of my gifts. That's a shame.
So not only putting him at 8th in the top 10, I know I had him at 9th, but still top 8 in the world, and that was probably due to him winning Wimbledon, which is you were very convinced that he was going to win Wimbledon as well, and you even said during this time it was he's gonna win it. I really believe it. This was the exact quote from you at the time. And you went on to say a few extra words. I didn't want to take the whole quote. I mean, it was a bit long, lengthy. You're going off. You're a bit gushing about him, to be honest. But he didn't win it. In fact, he went out in the first round to Michael Moe, of all people. A bit of a weird person to go out to. And you probably think, Michael Moe, he probably went on to go really deep in the tournament. No, he lost in straight sets to Martira in the next round. And just to show, it was just a disastrous tournament from Felix Auger-Aliassime, and has to be the worst prediction in all of the predictions in this ATP.
Yeah, I can't really argue this one at all. I feel I'm still I'm just going with your Kyrgios top 10 was worse than this one, but
It's just not.
I'm not sure.
No one's
Maybe
going to
we'll
back
do a poll.
that as well.
I think it's terrible you haven't been in the top 10.
Yeah, but he was
I can't
injured the
comment
whole
on
year.
this.
You can't. Felix wasn't injured at all. He was playing.
He has been suffering, Ben, with a few injuries. He's not been physically at his best.
I'll be pulling these same ones out in the women's, trust me. The same excuses.
Oh, mate, you need more than a few. The last Grand Slam of the year, the US Open. You went with Yannick Sinner to win the US Open. I went with Alex Zverev.
Well, how funny that these two actually played in was it the fourth round, and Zverev beat him, was it in 5 sets?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, I mean, all I'm thinking right now is, I knew at the back end of the year, Yannick Sinner was going to be pretty damn good. And maybe I went a little bit too early, maybe a month early. But look, we see what he's like now, and I think we can agree it wasn't too bad a prediction. I think that Yannick Sinner next year, everybody's sort of on the hype train now, so I'm not that mad at that prediction.
Yeah, it's looking good at the moment, this Yannick Sinner one, and you can't really receive too much heat for it. But if we're looking at what happened at the US Open, Zverev beat Yannick Sinner.
Yeah,
so
he did.
I think this is a W for me, this US Open one.
Yeah, I think
probably
so.
The only one out of the 3. But I feel a bit unlucky with the Alcaraz not playing and the Nadal not playing Roland Garros. The Wimbledon one you win, and I guess probably you win 3 out of the 4.
Yeah, I mean, I had Djokovic winning 2 slams, but I didn't.
The wrong way around.
I had him winning Wimbledon. Yeah, exactly. I didn't think that he was going to win 3 and then be 1 set away from all 4. I mean, what an amazing year for him. It was incredible.
Well, there we go. That is all of the predictions and our reaction. But what I want to know from you guys in the comment section is, what was the worst prediction? What was the best prediction? And how much faith do you have in us both to produce better predictions for 2024? We're going to be doing the women's one of this very, very soon. In fact, we're going to film it and post it tomorrow. And we'll also be doing 2024 predictions in the coming weeks as well.
Yes. So just to dwell on just before, as we start, we'll finish as we started, let's say. We know that you predicted Djokovic to win no slams in 2023. He ended up not only winning 3 of them, but overtaking Rafael Nadal in the slam race as well. And at the end of the predictions video, you were very adamant to say, I know that Rafa is going to end with the most slams. You're very confident there, and you repeated it multiple times and shot me down for criticising you for picking Rafa to win the French Open. And, well, now we know that Djokovic is now 2 ahead. Do you still stand by this statement?
No comment.
All right. I'll put him out of his misery. I'll take it
No
off
comment.
the screen.
Thanks for watching, everyone. And thank you, Ben, for giving us all a good laugh with the Nick Kyrgios in the top 10. Thank you all for watching. If you haven't already, give us a like, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you very, very soon.
Cheers.